When you read a book, you don't, or a play or watch a movie, we don't all have to have the same interpretation. We don't have to think that it means the same thing. Because what you need to ask yourself is, what is Shakespeare trying to achieve? What does he want? What does Shakespeare want his audience to believe, understand, or do, or think? My name is Zoe Hillier and I teach English, Drama and History at Centralian Senior College in Alice Springs. I evaluate my teaching and learning programs through feedback from the students, both formally and informally, as well as looking at assessment data. I gauge whether my programs are going well or not well through a number of methods. Firstly, the summative assessment tasks themselves. If the key issues or the key skills that I've been trying to teach are there, I know that my program is on track. However, if a large cohort of students aren't using the key skills required, then I do need to modify my next unit with that particular group of students.
You were telling me that it didn't work that well last year, as well as you'd like.
I just never got the sense, in any of their assessment tasks, there weren't a range of interpretations in the classroom. It was all pretty much what we had discussed, and I felt like maybe I had influenced their interpretations too much. I evaluate my programs formatively, so in doing that is through the activities we're doing leading up to a summative task, and also talking to the students as we go through to find out if they know what is required of them. I ask students for feedback on a particular unit or the course that we've done, both verbally and also through surveys that are run either by the college or I run myself. I taught Macbeth to a group of students last year and it didn't go particularly well. I knew this from the feedback, the verbal feedback that was given to me right throughout the unit from my students. My initial approach was to read scenes in a classroom style manner. I realised that this is not the way to approach Macbeth, and so I came up with a number of different strategies to get students up and moving around and engaging with the text as a play rather than as a written text. Macbeth starts to get pretty hopeful here and asks Banquo if he is hopeful that his kids will become king, because that's what the witches have just said, right? But Banquo is a little bit more sensible than Macbeth, and he says,
"And oftentimes to win us to our harm, the instruments of darkness tell us truth. Win us with honest trifles to betrays in deepest consequence."
Fabulous. Think about what that one might mean.
How is it going this time?
I think what I'm going to do, one of the assessment tasks, which came out of a task we did in class the other day, was I did a hero to villain spectrum on the board, and we started to plot things like what is an absolute villain and what is an absolute hero. And now I want them to plot the characters of Macbeth along that. The information that I've received from students has at times been surprising. Often it means that I do need to adjust my program. For instance, I realised that my method of teaching students to analyse wasn't getting through to all my groups. So I undertook a great deal of research in learning how to teach analysis that is ongoing. In doing this, I spoke to other teachers, particularly other English teachers, and I spoke to my students to find out what was working, which analogies they were understanding and which they weren't. And I also, of course, looked at whether they were improving in their analytical ability as time went on. What are the questions we ask for analysis? Who, what, yeah, how are the important ones. So in terms of analysing a film or analysing techniques in a film, what sort of things will we be looking at?
The camera shots.
Yeah, and what about the camera shots?
Angle.
But what are they trying to... Yeah, say that again, Lally?
How they all create meaning.
Yeah, how they create meaning, that's crucial. The other method I use to evaluate my teaching and learning is by having other teachers come in and look at my class. One thing that came up was that sometimes I can be a bit disorganised in the way that I structure my classes. So although it's obvious that I know what I'm teaching, what my objectives are, to actually start my class and make sure that my class are on board with me and the students know what they're supposed to be learning out of that. And so that's something that I've been conscious of implementing since. Are you understanding the story? Are you starting to... Yeah? Is there anything else? Is there anyone having trouble with it?
So it's going better because you know their level of engagement?
Yeah. Well, and I mean, with these guys, it's really important that I'm constantly asking them how engaged they are, because They at the moment they're great, but I could lose them. I'm well aware with a class like that, and they could all vote with their feet.
How do you measure the effectiveness of your teaching and learning? To what extent does your school facilitate classroom observation to improve teaching and learning?